So inside this video, I'll be going over how we made 3 of our trading clients over $100,000 in 3 days selling trading courses and mentorships, right? One of our trading clients hit $43,000 in 3 days. Second one hit $32,000 in 3 days. And then the third one, $30K in 3 days. So that's like a little over $100,000 in 3 days combined, right? Now, inside this video, I'll be going over everything from A to C on literally everything. So I'm not going to spare you any details, and I'm not going to make this intro too long, but make sure to watch until the end. And without further ado, let's get into it and how we scale these traders from, they're doing 10 to 20K a month before. Now they're doing already that times 2 to 3 in just 3 days. So let's get into the video. Now, the first thing you have to understand is you have to post trading content, obviously, because if there's no eyeballs and there's no one seeing your offer, your trading offer, if this is a trading mentorship or course, then there's no one to sell to, right? So the best trading, platform, not trading platforms, but the best platform for trading coaches when posting trading content is 100% Instagram and YouTube. Then you can add on TikTok as well. I'll get into this in just a second, but Instagram and YouTube as a flywheel, bro, it is a fucking money glitch. And I'll explain this later on as well, right? Now, the most effective platforms for eyeballs, because there is a difference between just getting views and actually converting views, because the last thing you want is get 1 million views, but then you get 0 conversions to sales, essentially, right? You don't want to have 1 million Indian people watching your videos or 1 million people from Africa watching your videos because they're not financially invested or they don't have the capital to invest into a program, and views doesn't matter. Your money and revenue matters, right? But the most effective platforms for eyeballs, just purely eyeballs, is 100% short form, obviously Instagram and TikTok. And in order to not waste time and post the same video on TikTok and Instagram, essentially, you can use the software called repurpose.io, which is automatically going to schedule the video on TikTok. And then when you post it on Instagram, it's automatically going to post on TikTok as well. So just a quick, software you can use if you want to. Pretty damn, time saving and pretty effective as well, right? Now, in terms of the most effective platform for nurturing, because there's again eyeballs, then there's nurturing those eyeballs, and then there's converting those eyeballs, right? In terms of nurturing itself, bro, Instagram is the best platform ever because there's stories, you can leverage story highlights, you can leverage posts, reels, trial reels, and the trading leads that are going to watch your IG is going to get, if you do it right, obviously, it's going to get an insight on what your day-to-day looks like. They're going to build a relationship with you without even you knowing they exist, essentially, right? If done correctly, right? And then in terms of the converting side of things, YouTube, bro, YouTube is a game changer. YouTube is a fucking gold mine. And YouTube is where all the money is made, essentially, right? So getting eyeballs, nurturing those eyeballs, converting those eyeballs. That's essentially the 3 steps right here, right? In terms of Instagram, again, leverage stories, story highlights. You can leverage reels, trial reels, post. And the main focus and driver on Instagram and short form just in general is just quantity based, right? So that means 3 to 5 posts and reels a day, not just like picture posts, obviously, but reels a day, right? This is just to get your name out, your face out, your brand out, and just to get known. And then obviously with all that traction, you can then, nurture them on Instagram, but also convert them on YouTube and funnel them over there, right? However, here is 3, reels of our trading client that's just posting like lifestyle, whatever, some educational, some behind the scenes and stuff like that, right? Very good for nurturing. And if you don't do it correctly in terms of, reels and stories, is the best nurturing mechanism ever. You can also leverage ManyChat into DMs and then get a setter to nurture them in DMs and then redirect them from DMs to YouTube videos. And there's so much stuff you can do with Instagram, right? Again, you don't just post without having a structure to it. Like if you do that, it's basically just shooting and praying, essentially. You want to have a structure with every single piece of trading content you post. If that's on Instagram, if that's on TikTok, if that's on fucking Twitter, whatever, or YouTube, you gotta have a structure behind it, right? So it's either top of funnel videos, middle of funnel videos, or bottom of funnel videos. So top of funnel, just to get awareness, get your name out, again, get your face out, and then middle of funnel where you actually nurture them. You go a little bit more in depth about your trading strategy, your way of teaching, your way of doing things, and then bottom of funnel is very in depth, like exactly your strategy on this specific time zone in this session or whatever, like really, really in depth for like more intermediate to advanced traders, right? Again, same with YouTube. This time with YouTube, though, you don't post quantity-based, you post quality-based, right? Because there is something called YouTube fatigue, or that's what I like to call it on YouTube, where essentially if you post every day, like you do on IG, it's like your audience burns out because it's long videos, like 13-minute, 10-minute, 20-minute long videos, So you don't post every single day, not every single other day, but 1 to 2 times a week in quality-based YouTube videos. And specifically on YouTube, you focus on click-through rate. So click-through rate x average view duration. All right, average view duration. So this is what YouTube metrics goes off in off of in order to actually go viral. Let me just roll it out, because obviously YouTube is going to push out the best content because they make money when people watch their content because they can push out ads. So in order to determine a good video for YouTube, they focus on click-through rate and average view duration, which obviously if those two are optimized to the fullest, they will push out a video because that video is technically good on paper because people are clicking on it, the thumbnail and title are good, and also the video itself is good because people are watching until the end, right? So that means it will go viral and gets pushed out to unprofitable traders, aka your ICP that you want to convert later on, right? Same with Instagram. Instagram, however, is just hook rate. So hook rate, right? Let me actually do it properly like this, hook rate, and then obviously also average, average view duration. I hope you don't mind my hand drawing here, but you get the idea, right? Those are two metrics for both platforms, right? Again, on YouTube, you don't just post, without having a structure. You actually post with a structure, with a strategic approach to it. So again, top of funnel videos where you don't actually focus on, converting people. You just focus on getting your name out and getting your videos pushed out, right? For example, right here, just a broad how to trade prop firms the right way. Like this is super broad. It couldn't be more broad than this, right? Hence why it also got a lot of views, right? And then your middle of funnel content typically gets a little bit less views, and then bottom of funnel typically even less views. But these views, I 100%, because we track this as well, I'm going to tell you for sure that this video right here makes way more money than this video, even though these views are way higher than these views, right? That's just how it is, because this is more bottom of funnel. This is more, if people are watching a 17-minute long video about exactly your strategy, live trading video, they're going to be pre-sold compared to if they're watching this and this is their first video they're watching, they're not going to convert yet. They need 1 to 2 hours of content consumed by the creator before actually converting. But again, strategic approach to it. Top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel. And then obviously you redirect people from top of funnel to middle of funnel YouTube videos. At the end of the YouTube, you have like end screens, and also in the description if you want to, and then bottom of funnel YouTube videos right here, and so on and so forth, right? Now with all this traction, with all these eyeballs and this awareness when posting with a content ecosystem in place, then you funnel that all into nurturing mechanisms right here, which is essentially opt-ins and email automations, email sequences, broadcasts, and so on, right? So we also do this for all our trading clients. We add and give them a separate landing page for their freebie where they essentially get, or their trading leads can essentially go on this, click get access to their freebie. So this is a PDF, free PDF that the trading clients are essentially providing for free in order for them to get their emails, obviously. That's why it's called an opt-in. They opt in with their email. In order for them, the prospects, to actually get this playbook, they need to opt in with their emails, right? So there's an opt-in form right here that collects their first name, email, and then that freebie right here gets sent into their emails, right? Pretty simple. Then we have an automation that automatically gets that playbook, that email sent into Kit right here, because we don't want to run email automations that go high level because that shit is ass. That's going to land in spam every single time. So we run it on Kit, aka our email service provider, and we can have sequences in here and also broadcast, right? So the first sequence is basically just addressing some pain points. We got some bottom of funnel nurturing videos, story authenticity, YouTube middle of funnel nurturing. Again, I redirect them to YouTube pretty much in every single mail or within like every single other mail. So you always want to get people redirected to YouTube, bottom of funnel or middle funnel YouTube videos, because in there, bro, if they start binge watching your YouTube videos, they're pre-sold. They're going to buy. Like it's guaranteed if they've got the money for it, if done correctly, right? So again, email automations, email sequences, email broadcast. This is just to everyone that's subscribed, no matter which sequence they're in. Pretty simple. And then with all this traction, all these emails, all these eyeballs, all this awareness, we do market research before we actually launch an offer, because obviously we want to sell to people we want to sell a program to people they want, right? We're not going to sell a program on how to trade prop firms if the audience is not even trading prop firms, if the creator is not even promoting prop firms or talking about prop firms or talk about anything related to prop firms. It's like it doesn't make sense, right? So it needs to be a perfect market fit for the program itself, right? So market research is so important because we actually want to target the exact ideal customer profile that this trader actually wants to sell to, right? So we got the pre-launch. This is what we do, the market research before we even start the launch, right? So we just ask some of their current trading students about what their, essentially pain points are, what they want to get out of, a potential program later on and stuff like that. Then we analyze the content of the client itself. Is this towards beginner traders? Is this towards intermediate, advanced traders? Because obviously if you're making content towards fucking learn how to day trade, is super beginner friendly. And then you make a program about how to copy trade on multiple prop firm accounts and use a different software for copy trading and how to stack payouts. And like, it wouldn't make sense to sell or make content towards beginners and then sell a program towards advanced traders. Like, it doesn't make sense at all. You know what I mean? Then we also look at the prospects demographics. Is this from third world country, second world, first world, depending on what pricing logic to use? Again, beginner, advanced, and then we project some KPIs and data from our other trading clients, because we've launched so many traders at this point. We basically know with an 85 to 90% chance that these people will hit this KPI, these numbers, right? So we know exactly, or like a little off exactly, like 80 to 85 to 90% of the time, we know exactly how much they'll make before we even launch, just depending on or projected based off our data, right? Launch week, we obviously do sales objection patterns if there's any objections that could be pre-handled inside the content ecosystem itself, and just basically let the creator know. Qualified versus disqualified prospects, look how many qualified there are versus non-qualified. Is it cold, hot, or warm audience? If it's very, very cold, then obviously there needs to be more middle of funnel and bottom of funnel content, again, because that way we can nurture them on YouTube, and then IG is probably not on point, again, also to nurture. So again, everything links down and links back to the YouTube content ecosystem, because everything could essentially be pre-handled and pre-sold inside the content, right? And that's kind of like our philosophy with it, right? So you can have, like, you can essentially have no sales funnel, no sales team whatsoever, but if your content is so good, you can pre-sell people right there, and they can piff and pay in full in DMs, essentially, right? We also do get quite a lot of, pay in fulls in DMs from these creators as well, just because their content is so dialed in, right? Which is what we teach on as well, right? Funnels, KPIs, VSLs, everything gets tracked, right? And then book a call, show rate, close rate, AOV, LTV, and all of these metrics I'll get into later on, right? Now, this is an infinite improvement loop, because the content side of things gets pushed into the backend, and then our team actually lets the trader know exactly what they need to do content-wise, again, to pre-handle objections, if there's any common patterns, if there's, the AOV is through the roof compared to, how much the price costs. If, let's say, the AOV is like $3,700, the average order value, and the program price is $4K, then obviously we'll up the price, because people can afford to pay more than that, just based off KPIs. And just close rate in general, if the close rate is too high, we'll obviously raise prices in order to make more money, blah, 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 right? So it becomes pretty easy for the creator and for our trading clients to actually know what to post content on based off backend data, based off our team telling essentially what they need to post and how they need to do it with the content ecosystem, right? We do all this because the last thing we want after a launch is it dies down. So a launch is, simply like this, right? Then most traders, they unfortunately do like, do a downwards kind of trend right here, bearish trend, which is not ideal with, low lows, low highs, low lows, low highs. It's like, bro, come on, bro. The last thing we want is that. And this is what most traders launch with, because they don't have data, they don't really know what to improve upon, and they don't know where the bottlenecks are and where the leaks are within the funnel to actually, again, improve upon it, right? So what we want instead is have a crazy launch and then constantly refining data and based off KPIs, and then to improve this like with a linear, bullish, not linear, but essentially like a steady, curve, essentially, right? And then a bullish trend with, again, high highs, high lows, high highs, high lows. You get the idea, right? So the offer creation is obviously, again, we don't want to create a program for, beginner traders when the audience is vice versa for advanced traders, because they just won't buy it then, right? So we used all of this data, all of this market research data on crafting that program, and we understand exactly who we're talking to, essentially. So we know their pain points, we know the dream outcome, we know common, potential objections that could also be pre-handled in the pre-call assets after the post-booking VSLs, which I'll get into later on. And we leverage all of this in the front-end marketing to pre-handle objections. So YouTube videos, bottom of funnel YouTube videos, where you specifically talk about which objections and to pre-handle them inside this video, and also on Instagram, TikTok, story sequences, again, reels, so on, right? And we make and craft an offer so good that these prospects, these unprofitable traders, literally feel stupid saying no, right? So there's typically a guarantee. So first of all, there's a header, then there's a guarantee, become profitable guarantee in less than X months. So there's a guarantee, risk reversal, and the offer is so good that if prospects look at that, they match, or it matches their pain points. They're like, yeah, this is a no-brainer. I'm gonna become profitable, guaranteed. There's no reason why I shouldn't join this, why I shouldn't book a call with our sales team, and then basically get on, right? And obviously this is a conditional guarantee. So if they don't put in work, for example, this is all on contracts as well that we do for all our trading clients. If they don't put in work, the trading leads won't join the program. I mean, they don't guarantee for the, they don't qualify for the guarantee. If they don't show up to all the calls, they don't qualify. If they don't, do X, Y, and Z, they don't qualify. Like, it's a conditional guarantee, obviously, because I mean, if someone just joins and they think that, they're going to get their money back or become profitable guaranteed without putting in work, it obviously doesn't work like that, right? But we frame the offer as the exact solution unprofitable traders needs in order to fix their exact problem, which is obviously becoming profitable, right? So again, this offer is so good that these prospects, bro, they're feeding forward, right? They need to jump on this because there's no risk for them essentially if they just put in the work. And also we do set clear expectations in the post booking as well as the sales call, and just make them aligned with the path of them making sure that they actually put in work in order to succeed with this, right? Now, some pricing of the offer. I want to get you to understand why low ticket is ass and high ticket will always be superior. And we can start off with low ticket right here. If you're just posting low ticket, or you have a low ticket Discord, low ticket fucking free trial to Discord community, or Telegram group, or something low ticket where it's like $95 a month, $50 a month, $150 a month, $200 a month, like a subscription based model, is cooked, essentially, because you're just posting generic content. You don't have any structure within your content ecosystem, as we talked about earlier on. You don't have any proper backend, no ecosystem, and you have a generic YouTube channel, IG channel. Like, you just look like everyone else, because I can't lie, there's so many traders out here that just looks like the same old fucking guru in Dubai, even though I know it's cliche as fuck that I'm in here and that I live here in Dubai, but they're looking the same. Like, they all look the same, right? So you have a generic YouTube channel. No one really fucks with you because you don't have a USP. You don't have something that differentiates you versus everyone else, right? So no USP, generic as hell, no data, and your content development, you don't really understand the demographics of your ICP, the ICP itself, the messaging, and the positioning, right? You don't really know and understand who you're exactly talking to if you run it this way, right? However, if you have a content ecosystem, you have a proven structure, it's data-backed, you have an ecosystem, content ecosystem, and you have a proper structured YouTube channel with an actual USP where you differentiate, versus everyone else. There's a fucking fly on my screen, bro. I need to catch this. Wait, hold on. Okay, whatever. Messaging as well. You have a proper messaging towards the ICPs that you're actually trying to target. Proper positioning as well. You are seen as the authority, not as someone that's generic and basically looks like everyone else and looks like a fake demo guru, right? And obviously, the content itself. Your demographics of your ICP, the ICP's pain points and dream outcome itself. The messaging is on point and the positioning is on point as well. You know exactly who you're trying to talk to and who you're trying to sell to, right? Now, pricing itself, KPI backed and data backed. This is why low ticket is inferior compared to high ticket. And keep in mind, all of these trading clients that I just showed you that we scaled, they were doing 10 to 20K a month. And now they've made way more than that in just a few days, right? All of these 3 trading clients were stuck doing low ticket before. Now they switched to high ticket. We implemented backend systems, the done for you systems, the sales team, automations, everything in between. And we've essentially, 1 to 2 to 3x their business in literally like 3 days, essentially, right? But anyways, low ticket itself, if you're posting generic YouTube videos, generic IG, TikTok, right, and you just have a WAP checkout link, for example, I see so many people do this, bro, it's so cooked, right? Compared to having a high ticket where you strategically post, again, top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel YouTube videos, again, also on IG, repurpose that on TikTok as well, and you funnel all of that traffic into a nurture sequence instead of a WAP checkout link, right? Now, this is way better, and I'll show you why, numbers-wise, than this one right here, right? Let's say that 100 viewers enter each funnel, because obviously we want to use the same data, right? 100 viewers enter your low ticket funnel here, right? Around 45 to 50%. I am a bit generous here. Like, it is probably a little less, but I'm just gonna, over exaggerate with low ticket on purpose so I can prove my point even more, and then under exaggerate over here with high ticket just to prove my point again, right? Now, low ticket funnel, a viewer from, a viewer to link clicked is around 40 to 50%. Let's just round up here. Let's say 50%, right? So 50%, let me actually be able to draw here. 50%, why is mine X? 50% right here, I'm fucking retarded right now. My brain is so cooked, I can't lie, boys. I've been working all day. So yeah, but anyways, I'm gonna record this YouTube video. No urgency at all with low ticket because, bro, it's a low ticket, no one cares. It's like there's no urgency, there's no like maximum spots of 10 people or, this closes within X date, so you need to get on. There's no scarcity and no urgency at all, right? Now, out of these 50% that click on it, which is 50 people, right, around 10 to 15 of them will actually pay the WAP or Stripe checkout page for like $50, $100 a month, whatever you have it priced at, right? So let's say 15% out of this, that's like 7.5 people, right? And then your average lifetime value per customer is $250, and your AOV, average order value, is $99 if you're selling something for $99, obviously, right? Let's say it's $95 or $99, right? Let's say it's $100, right? So you're making $750 essentially, right, out of 100 viewers from your low ticket, right? And in order to actually cross 100K a month, which is not that hard at all with a high ticket, in order to cross 100K a month, you need 400 students, bro. 400 students. You know how hard it is to convince 400 people to join your service and make them pay for that. 400 people is fucking nuts. Like, even if you got like 50K on YouTube, 100K on IG, 400 people is still a lot compared to high ticket, right? Where we go in and let's say 100, viewers, again, same number, 100 viewers enter your high ticket funnel with a book a call funnel. So about 40 to 45% goes from a viewer to call booked. Let's round down, use 40 people right here, okay, 40%. 70 to 80% show up and 30 to 40% close the call, right? So call book to show up and then show up to close, right? So let's say that this is, 75%, because that's like half of this. So that's 30 people, right? 30 people show up to the call and then 30 to 40% close. Let's use round numbers and say 25% close rate. Again, use, round down essentially. So that's like this minus like 25%. So that's like 7.5 again, funny enough. So 7.5, let's just say 7 people, right? Let's again round down. 7 people close. Average LTV, lifetime value customer, is 3.333 for a 4K program or 5K program. Ranges in between there. If you got financing as well, which we also set up for our trading clients, it's going to be higher than this, and the AOV is going to be higher than this. But again, I'm rounding down right here, right? So AOV is around $2,500 for a 4 to 5K program. So 7 times 2.5K essentially. 4, that's like 10K, 12.5K, 15K. That's like $17,500 right here. So $17,500 right there, right, out of 100 viewers, bro. Same exact numbers of viewers and basically eyeballs getting into the funnel. It's just a low ticket funnel. You're making essentially $750, and with a high ticket funnel, you're making $17,500, which is fucking nuts, right? In order to actually cross 100K with high ticket, you only need 30 students, because obviously 30 times 3.3K is essentially 100K, right? And then obviously 400 times 250 is also 100K. But 400 students versus 30 students. What would you rather? Like I asked all of these, all of my trading students like this question, like what would you rather have? 400 students you need to fulfill for, or 30 students you need to fulfill for the same amount of money that you're making, right? And keep in mind, 30 of these students are way more qualified and has a way bigger brain than low ticket, because low ticket equals low quality clients, high ticket equals high quality clients. It's just like that, right? There's a difference between people buying from H&M compared to, Richard Mille, for example, right? That's an extreme, I know, and I don't hate people that go to fucking H&M or whatever that shit is called, but you get the idea, right? Low ticket versus high ticket, right? So with high ticket, you get insane results, top months, and you have your dream clients, compared to low ticket, where you essentially get no results, slow and low months, and shit clients. I'm just going to be honest. You're going to get and attract retards. You're going to attract people from India, from Africa, from Pakistan. It's just like that with low ticket. Like the way you position yourself within your content ecosystem, that attracts is certain people or certain kind of people within your program, right? So if you have a strategic approach to it and you set clear expectation on that, this is a high ticket program, this is not gonna, be easy for you, blah, blah, blah. Like then there's obviously a difference between, making $100 per student versus 3K, 2.5K, 4K per student, right? Now, that's why high ticket is superior. I could, yap about this all day long, but I'm going to spare you the details on exactly, like, not going to go in depth, but this is like a brief overview of it, right? And obviously, with all this traction, again, we need to understand how the pre-launch works, because we need to create so much demand, so much hype for this program that trading leads are literally feeding for the, date of launch, essentially, right? So we also tailor out a pre-launch distribution for all of our trading clients. So that means Discord announcements right here, story sequences on specific days, email sequences, and all of this we take care of, right? So tailored story sequences right here, slide 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't obviously leak all of these because it is confidential. Story sequence 2, 3, and so on, right? Again, also tailored Discord announcements to the marketing angle and the demographics itself, the traders, ICPs, and everything between, right? Also email sequences, again, hitting all their pain points and then providing a solution and hyping up the program, and basically making and creating so much demand and hype for it that they know which date it's launching, and the trading leads are excited as shit for the launch, right? There's some more storage sequence right here. Also, a smart thing we do for trading clients as well is on ManyChat, you can essentially set an automation to, if the lead swipes up and replies, for example, the keyword 10, because in this storage sequence, it's like a CTA where there's like 10 spots left for the program, whatever. If they respond with 10, you can set up on ManyChat, there's going to be an automated voice note, where it's essentially just a templated voice note of the trading creator, basically sending them a voice note telling them that, what's good, bro? Like, there's 10 spots left. I need to know about your situation, where you're from. I mean, obviously, I got to qualify you for the program and so on. And just make it so urgent-based and scarcity-based that also it's a fucking voice note. Like, who wouldn't respond, to that if that was the creator sending it himself, which is obviously just, automation. But it's like, there's so much personalized stuff in this voice message alongside creating so much scarcity and demand for it, that this converts like fucking crazy, right? So there's voice note scripts for every single keyword and every single CTA essentially, for all these storage sequences as well. Just like a quick extra thing. Like it's very smart, and we've done it for all our trading clients. It converts like crazy, right? And then obviously we have a setter inside Instagram DMs that automatically, or not automatically, but sets the appointment so the trader doesn't have to be stuck in DMs all day long, bro, because that is boring as shit, right? Now, the high ticket funnel itself, right? Obviously, we tailor out funnels and VSLs tailored again to the demographics, the ICP, the messaging, the positioning, right? So we have a book a call VSL right here, where there's a specific promise, clear headline, there's a guarantee, all pain points are hit within this VSL as well. There's an application form right under it, student results, student interviews, just a infinite amount of case studies essentially if you just scroll all the way down here, right? Again, once they click on this button right here, they get into the application form where we essentially this allows our trading, sales team to know their dream outcome, to know their, objections leading into the call, know about the situation, know how much they have ready to invest, and basically allow us to qualify them or disqualify them and use all of these questions to our advantage on the sales call for the sales team, right? So again, the first question, what's your main goal with trading right now? That's just to get the dream outcome so the sales team can leverage that on the sales call. This right here is on a scale of 1 to 10. How ready are you to dedicate your time to trading? This is just qualify/disqualify filter. And if they respond 1 to 3, then we just redirect them to a mid ticket and we try and sell them on a mid ticket, and our dialers will dial them up and basically talk about their situation and, obviously make them, buy into the mid ticket program instead of just leaving a potential warm lead, just left. You know what I mean? So we want to squeeze out every single lead and make as much money as humanly possible, right? So again, qualify filter right here. Then right here, help realization. Are you currently profitable? Obviously, they'll not say yes. They'll, understand, okay, now I'm obviously losing money, I'm break even, whatever, right? Pain level, again, there's different pain levels compared to if it's a complete beginner trader, if it's a intermediate trader, advanced trader, whatever, because obviously a complete beginner trader doesn't have as much pain as a advanced trader, because that advanced trader has been trading for 1 to 2, 3, 4, 5 years and just been losing over and over again. They've got so much pain, they just need to make this shit work, right? Compared to a beginner, they haven't really went through the trenches yet of trading and not becoming profitable, right? Now, again, bottlenecks for our sales team to go over, dream outcome again. Understanding the situation. Are you working 9 to 5? Obviously, if they're working 9 to 5, there's a higher chance that they can PIF and pay in full, and so on and so forth. Another disqualify or qualify filter right here. How much do you have saved up to invest into becoming profitable? If they obviously respond with less than 1K, we again redirect them to a mid ticket for like $750, $500, and our sales team will dial them up again right after this, question has been filled out, right? If they do qualify, however, and if they don't disqualify through this form, where we essentially downsell them to a mid ticket. If they do qualify, however, they get sent into the post booking where there's urgency. So a headline again, exclusivity. It says you are one of 100 traders who actually see this, blah, blah, blah. And then hype and pre-handle the objections inside this post booking VSL right here. Also, one thing we do is make the prospect and the trading lead feel obligated to respond to this email on essentially in their inbox, right? So if they don't respond yes already, they'll essentially cancel the appointment, which we don't do, but this is just for our emails to actually land in inbox and not spam, and make the prospect kind of do like a virtual handshake that they are committed to this. they're going to meet up, to the call. They're going to show up on time and just make a virtual handshake to show, to up the show up rate essentially. Also, again, more student wins, again, to pre-handle some stuff, show that it's possible for others. So it's going to be possible for the trading lead as well, student interviews, and so on and so forth. Then we start the appointment reminder. So we have a confirmation. First of all, their meeting is scheduled, blah, blah, blah. 2 days before, 1 day before, 12 hours, 6, 4, 1 hour, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute before, then the meeting occurs. Obviously, meeting gets tracked, recorded by the sales team, tracked again, sent into KPI sheets, and so forth and so on, right? Obviously, there's a lot of case studies, copywriting, and everything in between these appointment reminders that I can't really go into now because that's going to take like forever. But you kind of get the idea, right? Just to up the show up rate and also pre-handle the prospects with pre-call assets inside these appointment reminders to nurture them even more and get them hyped for this call, and essentially pre-handle all their common objections that they might have on the call, which could have been went over in emails or SMS with these appointment reminders, right? Now the high ticket funnel itself broken down is that we have conversion sequences. So we have the main VSL to book a call after they get redirected from, again, free Discord community where we nurture them, IG storage sequences where we nurture them, emails, email automations, sequences, broadcasts, whatever, all funnel down to the main VSL book a call funnel. Again, there's either two paths trading leads can go, either disqualify, where they get a disqualification email, then the setter confirms, our sales team, and if yes, because some people are lying about it inside the application form, they said like they have less than 1K to invest, but if you really dial them up, they probably have more, and you can squeeze out a bit of them. So if they do, basically talk with our sales team and do, say that they have more than 1K to invest, they're hyped for it. Obviously, the objection handling on the dialing call, then we redirect them to the qualified one again. But if they don't have less than if they don't have $500 to $750 for the mid ticket, and if they don't have more than 4K or 4 figures for the high ticket, then obviously they can just fuck off essentially, right? So if they do qualify, however, we can send them into a pre-sale video, pre-sale call assets, just appointment reminders, copywriting, case studies, testimonials. Any sales calls obviously gets taken, gets tracked, sent into KPI sheets, and all of these, I'll get into this later on as well. But all of this data is what we track and improve upon for later as well with our sales manager, our reps, SDRs, setters, and so on and so forth, right? Now, again, VSLs are tailored to the marketing angle, to the trading client that we work with specifically, where we can pre-handle objections, get them hyped for the program, get them to basically press apply, get them to book a call here, get them to show up to the call, and then downsell them to mid-ticket if they didn't close on the call. Right? Obviously, I cannot show these VSLs as well, but you kind of get an idea of how they work. So there's 4 VSLs here, and then also we have a VSL backend where it's essentially an upsell VSL. So instead of a downsell, if they didn't buy the high ticket, it's going to be an upsell if they've bought the mid ticket but want to upgrade to the high ticket. So from mid ticket right here, mid-ticket to high-ticket VSL essentially, right? To, again, make even more money and upsell people instead of also downselling people, right? So in order for all of this being possible, obviously we need the best sales team, and I confidently can say we have the best sales team. I hope I don't sound ignorant, but we do. We have closers and SDRs and setters that's been on QBanks, Alex G's, and Mamba FX's offer before. We also have 2 sales managers that's been on Brett Scales offer before. So pretty much the best of the best, right? Obviously, I'm gonna spare you all the details, but we use CRMs, meetings, recordings, automations, AI backend, sales team with setters, reps, and essentially our sales team consists of our managers, which we are managing, right? And then they are managing the setters. They're doing the KPIs and data, optimizing on that, and also managing the reps as well, right? Now, in order for all of this to be basically systemized and automated, we have a lot of fucking SOPs, a lot of systems, a lot of AI workflows as well. I'm going to spare you the rest. I could make a video on this for like 3 hours straight just explaining this, but again, that's a video for another time, right? In order to actually sustain and scale this, we scale with data-driven decisions. So I'm going to show you guys some stats right here. Also blurred this out at the beginning of the video. But you can essentially see cash collected, calls due, calls taken, show rate, close rate, cash collected per call, AOV, deposit completed, deposits. This is in percentages. This is in numbers. Deposits, call, close, revenue, and so forth and so forth. That's just like the common sales KPIs we track, right? Obviously, if AOV is through the roof compared to the pricing of this offer, we obviously up the prices. Cash collected per call is also a good show up rate if that's asked, and obviously it's a pre-call asset as opposed to booking VSL as the funnel after they book a call. That could be improve upon. If it's the close rate, it's the sales team, it's the pre-handling, the content ecosystem, like everything aligns and everything comes down to an ecosystem of constant improvement, right? We also do track our sales team individually. So every single closer's name out here, the calls taken, calls due, calls closed, close rate, cash collected, commission. Again, also all these setters right here, calls set, calls showed, close, show rate, close rate, cash collected, the commission throughout this week, month, bi-weekly, daily, etc. And we also have cash collected right here of all these sales members, so we can see who's performing good, who to give incentives to, who to essentially fire, and who to basically give bonuses to as well. Also calls, close, etc. So we have an understanding of who is the best on the sales team, who can teach others on the sales team to evolve as well, and everyone's just working on the same level, right? And all of this is obviously plus way more is all done for you for all of our trading clients. So our trading clients doesn't have to be stuck in this wall, this barrier, whatever you want to call it, and can't really scale, right? They'll just run into this wall. When they implement our systems, our tracking, our team, and everything in between, obviously they leverage our connections, sales team, copywriters, content managers, sales managers, and so many ops managers. We have that as well. Trackers as well, like a full-on tracker for every single trading client of ours that literally tracks their business for a full-time living. Also leverage our systems, our funnels, team, backend structures, systems, AI workflows, everything in between, and they have ultimate peace of mind to focus on their content and their trading students or clients, right? So that allows our trading clients to not worry about anything systems related, nor worry about anything sales related, and just make so much fucking money, right? They don't rely solely on trading income because we all know how stressful that is. They now have a sustainable business where they're making 6 or 7 figures a month, and they don't post without a structure or without a meaning behind every single piece of trading content they put out, right? Sales systems, sales team, backend funnels, everything backend is fully dialed in by us, all done for you. And then obviously also we coach on the front end side, so the content ecosystem, what works good. Sales manager gives input to the creator itself on what needs to be pre-handled within the content. The tracker lets him know as well. Like our whole team works together as an ecosystem for the trader to make so much fucking money. That's how we can scale these traders to, from 20K to 325K a month. We've scaled them from 20K a month to 50K in like 3 days and so on and so forth, right? Now, again, they make a shit ton of money, and that's essentially what we do for all our trading clients. So if you want help implementing this to get your trading business to 6 or 7 figures a month, apply below. If you don't want to, then don't. Just check out the VSL that I made for myself. Me and my business partner, we run this company together. We scale up trading info businesses to a lot of fucking money. But anyways, if you don't want to do that, then don't. If you do, check the link in the description. If not, no worries. Please leave a like, come subscribe for this in-depth video. It took quite a fucking while to make. So please do that. Leave a like, come subscribe, and I'm out.